Hey guys, thanks for joining. Today I'm here with Lori, who is in my private community, who is selling print on demand. And today we're going to talk specifically about Etsy. How are you doing, Lori?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
So, how have your Q4 sales been so far?
I actually am super pleased. I am by no means a mass seller, but I think I was telling you earlier that I'll probably quadruple, but right now I have tripled my last year's Q4 sales, and we're not done.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think by the end of it, you will at least 5x from your previous year, that's definitely some good growth. If you can do that year over year, you're going to be, the expert soon enough.
I love that ka-ching, I'll tell you that.
It gets addicting until it starts driving you crazy because you hear it too many times.
Please let it drive me crazy. That would be so awesome.
I've seen people in my tier who didn't disable it, and I'm just like, how do you do that? Because I'll have nightmares about it. Good nightmares, I guess.
Wow.
Yes, I've had that turned off for years, but not to flex. So you had a great little strategy for Etsy niche research that you had shared, and you shared the video with me, and I thought it was great. I invited you to, honestly, I mean, you were open to sharing it with everybody on my channel, which is just going to help people identify, where the demand is on Etsy using your approach that you said you learned from somebody else, but now you're getting to pay it forward. So I'm excited that you were willing to do that.
So a little bit about me. I am not a millennial. In fact, I'm the mom of 2 kids that are about Ryan's age. And so I don't necessarily learn at the same rate that folks that are a little younger do. Technology is not natural for me. And so I really appreciate Everbee because it is simplified enough that even someone who's maybe 29 and up can do it.
Yes, I love Everbee as well. And they definitely do. I always say, you don't have to have these tools to succeed, but they certainly help expedite getting where you want to go, is how I usually describe it.
I know that it's really helped me. I had a hard time at first because I thought I had to come up with my own, everything original from the very beginning, all of my own SEO tags and all of my own titles without any help and all of my own designs without any inspiration, that kind of thing. And it's still my tags, my titles, and my designs, but I definitely am inspired by other people who have bestsellers.
Likewise, yeah, it's always good to follow the money, as they say, right? See where the demand is. And then I just say carve out a piece of that pie for yourself. If you're ready, do you want to screen share and kind of walk us through the process?
Sure. For me, what I do as far as workflow, when I'm starting from scratch and Christmas is behind us and I'm going forward and I want to find something, then the easiest place for me to start is on your Etsy page using the Everbee app that you can see here on the left of the screen underneath the bumblebee. When you click on it, it looks about like that. It's a pretty inexpensive help for an extension. And so I would just go up into your search bar, and I'm not looking for anything specific today. I'm just going to look for women's, and we're still in kind of cooler weather. So I'm going to say sweatshirts, and it's going to tell me some words right there that are going to be good SEO terms because that's how many people are searching for it.
Right. So they're not necessarily niches. They might just be additional keywords to tack on to help refine your audience.
And they're not necessarily the ones that are going to be, they're highly searched, but there's high competition probably for those as well. But it gives you an idea of where things are. So women's sweatshirts with cats or trendy women's sweatshirts. We're just going to click on women's sweatshirts. So now we've got this. Okay, Ryan, you're going to have to help me here. I need to share a private browser.
Private browser? I think you can do it. We can see your whole screen.
Okay. Can you see that?
Perfect. Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm going to cut and paste that URL. And this is where we're going to do a little bit of finagling to get what we want. So I always start with, I want the most recent designs because I don't necessarily want to do something that has been up there for 2 years because it's going to be really hard to compete with that.
Okay. So filter most recent or sort
Yep.
by.
Yep. And then I go to all filters and I choose here on the left, after you click this button that says all filters, our seller, and then apply. Okay. And now you have what are people who have that star seller badge, but they're not always best sellers.
The URL hack.
Right. So you go up to the URL, and where it says star, you replace that with the word best and then click enter. And now you should have a whole lot of things down here that say bestseller. Okay.
Nice.
If you do this in your own browser, it's going to bring up what you search. So for me, it's going to bring up a whole lot of mock-ups that I've purchased. And so this is super helpful in getting kind of what is selling right now in just women's shirts.
Nice. And great tip with the incognito browser as well, so it doesn't skew the results too much.
Yes, exactly. And so now we kind of have, okay, this is, by the way, just did one of these shirts for my daughter for Christmas, and
nice.
She's a big Taylor Swift fan. So
very nice.
Okay, so now we're going to take this URL that we just got without any Etsy interference with their algorithm, and we're going to go back over here, and we will cut and paste it again. Okay, and so we should have some of those same shirts here. Then we're going to go up and go to our Everbee tab. And we could go by, like, okay, here, I like this shirt, so I'm going to see what it's doing specifically by just clicking on it and hitting analyze listing. But let's start with analyzing all of the bestsellers that are on this page. And so you would do that over here by clicking product analytics. And that is going to bring up all the ones that are on the first page. So that's 64, but you can see that there's way more than that, because below it, it's going to tell us our entire database. But for this purpose, we're just going to assume that the bestsellers were on that front page. And so the next thing I would do is I click to say, this is this arrow here by monthly sales. If you click it twice, it will bring up, here is the number of sales on the shirts that you saw in that first page. But I think we need to filter it down a little bit, and you kind of have to click down there first before you can kind of go over to some of these. Like, we don't want, oops, where's it at? We want a listing age.
There you go. Get the more recent listings.
Yep. And I kind of use the filter for that.
Okay.
Click on this filter and say that the maximum of the listing age that we want is, let's say, 3 months. And actually, let's do less, because it's all going to be Christmas if I do that.
Sure, yeah.
Let's say we want 1 month, and that we want the minimum number of sales here to be like 20. And then you know that you're only getting shirts that have been listed lately and have sold more than 20. And it looks like that shirt that I liked is one of them.
That style? Yeah. Is that like related to, in a back way, like Taylor Swift?
Yes, absolutely. It's
I just need to assume that then everything I see this year.
And you can, and I don't know who Olivia Rodrigo is, but they did the Taylor Swift style there.
Got you.
I'm sure that's probably somebody, and we shouldn't use her name exactly, but this is where you can personalize it and put someone else's name in there and photos they send you. I feel like we're too narrow here though. So I am going to take out.
You could always expand the age just for the sake of this video. Everybody watching can tinker. I mean, what you've shown so far is a nice way of distilling down, an infinite number of results into at least results that are, the qualification for a bestseller is going to vary based on the initial search phrase that we put in.
Exactly.
So the number of sales here, it might be higher than if somebody searched for something like specific, but either way, it's great.
Right. Like if you put in, because we're probably at the point where Valentine's Day is something you're thinking about on Etsy, then if you put in Valentine's Day sweatshirts instead of women's sweatshirts, you would get a different result.
Right. Oh yeah, much lower sales too, of course.
But let's go back to our monthly sales, and we still want it to be at least 20. And then this is going to bring up, okay, here are the numbers, and you can see that all of these are at least over 20. Let's find one that is not Disney or Taylor Swift or, all of the copyright. This Plant Lady sweatshirt, for instance, that seems to be doing good. It's 200. Oh, but it's older. Let's look at what's below that. Highland Cow. It's a Carhartt sweatshirt. That's why. How about we'll go with the Pickles, which we know is a bestseller.
Somebody said, I think it was like a TikTok trend.
So we'll go with the pickle shirt for our example. And what that does, when you click on the pickle shirt, it brings up just that shirt's details. And it will give you that they are selling about 60 a month. They've made this much off of this particular shirt, and it's been there for 5 months. They've got good reviews on it, and they're getting 100% visibility score, which is amazing.
16,600 views, almost 400 favorites, about a 2% conversion rate. So yeah, I mean, all those metrics are like, and it may not mean anything if you look at one, but if you start looking at others and comparing them, you kind of get your own, visual into how these literal bestsellers perform. And then you can almost compare them to your own listings.
Right, right. So if you look down here, this is going to give you some information that is super useful. And this is where I kind of use a note and I'll go, okay, so here are all the keywords that this particular listing used. And it's going to give you some, good keywords that are going to bring it up. You can see the volume of how many of those are of the searches for that keyword. And you can also see the competition for that keyword. And so I think the ones down here are probably going to be good in some way, but really the mid-range are the best ones. It's going to be pickle jar because you get quite a few searches and not 100,000 in competition. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't put some of those because that still is going to all the words together. One of the things that I didn't know initially, and I do now, is like this seller is using pickle several times.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a waste of a keyword because the way the Etsy algorithm apparently works, according to the lady that worked at
Etsy Hunt,
eRank,
yeah,
is that once you've said pickles, you've already got it there. So you might as well, use foodie sweatshirt instead of pickle sweatshirt again. You've already said pickle shirt.
What's funny is I think in the Etsy help section, they state the opposite, but I'm still I would much rather trust the person that worked at, a data-driven product company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Than the Etsy help center. And I'm not trying to hate. I'm just saying that's just me personally.
That's kind of where I'm at too. And it has worked since I've kind of switched over. I've seen a difference. So as far as numbers of people who are favoriting items and that sort of thing. So on this button right here, that's your copy all, and that's going to give you your all of her tags. And then you can go to
you could just go to your theoretical product listing, right? And just paste them.
Well, what I was going to say is go to a note and paste those into a note. And then go on to another shirt that now we know we're going to look for a pickle shirt. So now let's go back up here and we're going to say women's pickle. And two things, it's also going to let's do this. Yeah, there you go. Wow, it wants us to do pickleball. So pickle,
of course,
shirt.
Shout out to my mom playing pickleball as we record.
Oh, that's really cool. I love that.
Actively playing it right now.
I love that. So now you got a whole bunch of bestsellers in the pickle shirts. Let's pick a different one without using someone's ad budget. Please don't click on the ads because someone's budget when they're starting out is $3 and you just clicked on it 3 times, So this one's different and it's a Christmas one, so I won't use it. But this one is different, still in the same niche, but they did the 2-sided and it's in demand. We know that. And it's a different shop. So we can analyze that listing, or we can go to this shop and see what they have. That is how many of these are they I'm not seeing a whole bunch that I love there, but the shirt itself was in our bestseller. So we can analyze this listing.
Just like that, one click, you get all the data.
Yep. And it's so easy for someone who is not necessarily a data expert to be able to just go here and go, oh, okay. And then the other thing you can do is that this is obviously a title that works. And so then take this title into AI, go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to reword this title using no word twice.
Okay. Nice little tip there.
Yeah. And then that will give you kind of a better title because I don't think it's cool to exactly take everybody's work, because then you're just, you're actually diluting it. You're using what you're taking away from them, but you're probably taking away from you too, because that's already been searched.
Yeah, and they have more sales.
Right.
Yeah. So good point.
Yeah, it's going to go to them. It's not going to probably go to you unless you're one of the Ryans of the world who have, amazing sales on Etsy and everywhere.
Or if you're lucky enough to get your ad served, right? Until Etsy finally moves to an auction system, which I'm still waiting for that day,
So again, you can take these keywords and then cut and paste them over your note. And then you're going to see some similarities of, okay, so here are some things that were in the other one and this one. So I probably want to use that word, but it'll also give you some other ideas like olives and pickles. Looks like, there's not a whole lot of competition there, or pickle sweatshirt again isn't actually that bad of competition. Pickle lover shirt, that's not bad if that's all your competition. That's the thing I forgot to say too, is back here, it's going to tell you how many, well, that's with ads. Doggone it. Didn't there used to be a place here where it told you what?
The ads don't skew it too much though. They don't
Okay.
skew it too much.
So that's going to tell you how many people have a women's pickle shirt up and running. And it might be some of the same people have it several times, but that's your competition for this niche.
Right. And then you got to outdo them somehow.
Yeah,
SEO,
exactly.
thumbnails, price point, all that good stuff.
So honestly, that's kind of the gist. I know other people use different products, but for me, in the way that it's hard for me to learn things quickly because I'm not a millennial, dang it.
I think you're doing great so far though. And I know everybody's going to appreciate that you shared this. You took time out of your day, but go ahead and endorse Everbee if you were about to do that.
Yeah, no, for me, it's my go-to as far as product research and keyword research. I do use other things. I check myself using like Insight Factory or, one of the other eRank, whatever, and kind of check myself using those sometimes. But for the most part, that's all I use for.
Yeah, it gets the job done for sure. And it definitely gets you where you want to be quicker than it would.
And it's simple.
It's simple.
It's very simple. It's not like you have to do a lot of guessing of how to get that information out.
For sure. Yeah. I used to be a front end web developer. So I'm all about like simplicity, less clicks, make it intuitive. If you need to watch a, YouTube video tutorial on how to use it, it's probably not where it needs to be. So Everbee did a great job making their app like very easy.
Absolutely. And like I said, I didn't learn this on my own. I learned it from, other YouTubers like Cassie and Heather and so on. But
yeah, no, there's so much great content out there, and shout out to all the other print on demand YouTubers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's working. I mean, hey, you said you 3X'd already. You're about to 4X, maybe 5X your Q4. So that's huge.
I'd love to hear some more ka-ching.
Cool. Well, Lori, thank you again. Everybody who enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to say thank you in the comments, drop a like. And Lori, thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Ryan. Seriously, thanks.
My pleasure.